The glittering lights of Hollywood and the roaring, adrenaline-filled stadiums of professional sports might seem like two completely separate universes, existing on opposite ends of the popular cultural spectrum. One world is defined by red carpets, cinematic masterpieces, emotional depth on screen, and the relentless pursuit of artistic perfection under the blinding flash of paparazzi cameras. The other world is a realm of tactical precision, immense physical grit, tactical strategy on the gridiron, and the deafening cheers of tens of thousands of passionate fans packing an arena on a crisp autumn afternoon. Yet every once in a while, these two massive celestial bodies collide in the most unexpected and captivating ways, creating a modern cultural narrative that captures the imagination of millions around the globe. When a high-profile Hollywood starlet, celebrated for her versatility and musical talent, crosses paths with an elite, powerhouse athlete commanding one of the most dedicated fan bases in professional football, the world naturally stops to watch the romance unfold. For the past few years, the public has been utterly fascinated by the evolving journey of this specific power couple, observing how they navigate the intense pressures of their highly demanding careers while building a deeply private, grounded sanctuary away from the public eye. Their story has been a masterclass in balancing fame with genuine emotional intimacy, proving that even under the constant scrutiny of global media, true connection can flourish and grow into something profoundly beautiful. If you want to stay updated on all the latest deep dives into the lives of your favorite personalities, their hidden journeys, and the exclusive stories behind the headlines, make sure to take a brief moment right now to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. As we begin this multi-part exploration into their lives, we find ourselves looking back at how two distinct worlds slowly began to merge into a singular, beautiful trajectory. The initial sparks of their relationship were whispered about in quiet Hollywood corners and speculated upon by sports analysts, but the couple chose to let their connection mature naturally, far away from the chaotic noise of the internet. They built a foundation rooted in mutual respect, understanding the unique weight of carrying massive public expectations while trying to maintain an authentic personal identity. The actress, having spent over a decade in the public eye from a very young age, understood the intricate dance of celebrity culture, while the star quarterback brought a grounded, hard-working Midwestern energy that seemed to perfectly balance her sophisticated lifestyle. Together, they formed an impenetrable bond, a quiet partnership that stood strong against the whirlwind of rumors and endless media fascination that naturally follows individuals of their stature. Over the course of 3 years, the world watched them transition from secretive dates in major metropolitan cities to confident, synchronized appearances that signaled a deep and lasting commitment. Their journey eventually led them to the breathtaking coastline of Santa Barbara, California, where they officially tied the knot in an intimate, sun-drenched ceremony surrounded by their closest family and friends, sealing a promise that would soon usher in an entirely new and transformative era of their lives. This beautiful summer wedding was not just a celebration of their love, but the definitive closing of one chapter and the exciting beginning of another, setting the stage for a shared future that would soon test and expand their hearts in ways they had never previously imagined. The transition from newlyweds to expecting parents happened with a beautiful, natural rhythm, as the couple announced they were expecting their first child just a few months after their gorgeous coastal wedding, sparking a wave of joy and anticipation among their global fan base. For months, fans and media outlets alike speculated about the new life they were preparing to bring into the world, wondering how these two highly successful individuals would adapt to the ultimate universal equalizer that is parenthood. The actress carefully stepped back from the grueling demands of movie sets and recording studios, turning her focus inward to protect the sacred experience of her pregnancy. While her husband continued to navigate his high-stakes football season with a renewed sense of purpose and drive. When the big day finally arrived in the early spring, a quiet transformation took place within their household, far removed from the glitz of Hollywood and the thunderous noise of the football stadium. The arrival of a newborn always brings an undeniable shift in perspective, a sudden rearranging of priorities where the entire universe suddenly shrinks down to the size of a single nursery room, illuminated by the soft glow of a nightlight. This period of early parenthood is famously known for being a chaotic blur of sleepless nights and overwhelming emotion. A time when external achievements fade into total irrelevance and the only thing that matters is the fragile new life resting in your arms. Yet, for this couple, the experience was kept extraordinarily private for the first 2 months, allowing them the precious space to heal, to learn, and to bond as a new family unit without the pressure of public commentary or societal expectations. The quiet triumph of surviving those first critical weeks as new parents is a deeply personal victory, one that involves a steep learning curve filled with unexpected challenges, profound exhaustion, and moments of pure, unadulterated awe. It is a time when hours melt into days and days blur into weeks, creating a unique emotional landscape that forces individuals to shed their old identities and step into something entirely unfamiliar. As our story develops, we begin to see how this fiercely private couple chose to slowly and beautifully open up about this deeply sacred chapter of their lives, revealing the profound emotional depths they discovered within themselves during these initial months of parenthood. The actress, known for her evocative storytelling on the silver screen, found herself experiencing a completely different kind of narrative, one written not by Hollywood screenwriters, but by the tiny, delicate rhythms of her infant daughter. In the upcoming segment of our report, we will dive deep into the specific, heartfelt revelations shared by the new mother, exploring the exact words she used to describe this beautiful and exhausting new reality, and how her entire perception of time, love, and self-identity underwent a radical, permanent shift. We will examine the beautiful text of her personal letter, looking at the intricate details of her postpartum recovery, the traditional family support systems that carried her through the darkest hours of the night, and the overwhelming gratitude she and her husband feel as they gaze upon the new center of their universe. The journey of motherhood is never a solitary one, and the ways in which this Hollywood icon embraced the messy, sacred, and quiet moments of caring for a newborn offers a fascinating, deeply human look at a star stripped of all glamour, finding her truest strength in the quiet confines of a cribside vigil. The quiet sanctuary of early parenthood, while deeply fulfilling, is famously characterized by a profound, all-encompassing exhaustion that tests the limits of even the most resilient individuals. For a global superstar accustomed to the highly structured environment of major Hollywood film sets and the intense physical demands of the entertainment industry, the unpredictable reality of a newborn baby represents a complete departure from anything she had ever experienced before. The transition into this new world requires an immediate relinquishing of control, a sudden realization that a tiny human being now dictates every single aspect of daily life, from the precise timing of meals to the precious, fleeting moments of sleep. 2 months after quietly welcoming her first child into the world on a beautiful spring morning in April, the celebrated actress and singer decided it was finally time to break her silence and share the intimate reality of her new life with her loyal community of followers. Choosing a deeply personal medium rather than a generic public relations statement or a flashy magazine spread, she reached out directly through her lifestyle newsletter, crafting a beautifully raw and emotional letter addressed directly to her infant daughter. This letter, which quickly captivated the hearts of readers worldwide, offered a rare, unvarnished look at the emotional landscape of a first-time mother navigating the delicate postpartum period alongside her husband, a star professional athlete who is experiencing his own profound transformation. In the beautifully written piece, the actress openly admitted that the initial months of parenthood had been a dizzying paradox, describing the experience as being simultaneously beautiful and exhausting, sacred and incredibly special, representing both the longest days and the shortest season of her entire life all at once. The emotional weight of her words painted a vivid picture of a household completely transformed by love, where the glitz and glamour of their public lives had been entirely replaced by the quiet, tender rhythms of an infant nursery. One of the most striking and relatable revelations in her letter was how profoundly her relationship with time itself had altered since giving birth to her little girl. Before embarking on this journey, her life had been strictly measured by the relentless calendar of Hollywood production schedules, promotional tours, and public appearances. But she explained to her readers that she no longer measures her existence in standard months or years. Instead, her entire reality is now beautifully calibrated in ounces of milk, in the anxious tracking of naps missed and naps miraculously taken, in the endless cycle of diaper changes, and in what she beautifully called the quiet triumph of a successful transfer from her protective arms to the stillness of a crib. This poetic description perfectly captured the universal experience of modern motherhood, a state of being where monumental victories are no longer achieved on grand global stages but in the silent, dark hours of the night when a sleeping baby is successfully laid down without waking. The actress expressed an overwhelming sense of awe as she reflected on the short time her daughter had been on this earth, confessing that despite the briefness of her existence, it somehow felt as though the little girl had always belonged to them, seamlessly weaving herself into the very fabric of their souls. She described poignant moments of sitting in the quiet corners of her home, looking down at the tiny child sleeping so soundly on her chest, and still finding herself struck by a sense of disbelief and wonder that this fragile, beautiful creation was actually real. This deep emotional grounding provided a stark and refreshing contrast to the often superficial world of celebrity culture, showing a young woman completely stripped of her Hollywood persona, fully immersed in the sacred, messy, and deeply humbling work of raising a child. As the letter progressed, she also gave her audience a touching glimpse into how her husband, the powerhouse quarterback known for his fierce competitiveness and physical dominance on the football field, was adapting to his new role as a father. She revealed that the two of them often find themselves simply standing together over their daughter, looking at her in absolute silence and asking each other the exact same question: how did they get so incredibly lucky to have her in their lives? The image of a towering professional athlete being completely captivated by a fragile newborn added a beautiful layer of depth to their public narrative, highlighting the gentle, protective paternal instinct that had been awakened within him. The actress wrote about the profound sense of responsibility she felt when her daughter's impossibly tiny fingers would wrap around her own with a deep, instinctual trust, a bond that she prayed she would never take for granted as the years began to pass. She even included a light-hearted, humorous note about their future family dynamics, teasing that her husband was now officially outnumbered when it comes to choosing a movie for their family movie nights, though she affectionately suspected that he would secretly love every single minute of being surrounded by his girls. This warmth and vulnerability offered a glimpse into a strong, unified partnership, a marriage that had seamlessly evolved to accommodate the massive emotional and physical demands of a newborn. Beyond the emotional and relational shifts, the actress also candidly shared details about the physical realities of her postpartum journey, a topic that is frequently romanticized or entirely ignored in the public eye. She opened up about the vital importance of having a strong support system during this vulnerable period of recovery, explicitly crediting her amazing doula for providing invaluable guidance and care as she navigated the complex physical aftereffects of childbirth. Her doula had specifically advised her to adhere closely to a philosophy rooted in traditional Ayurveda, which emphasizes the consumption of warm, nourishing foods during the early postpartum months to actively aid digestion and boost nutrient absorption within the body. Embracing this holistic approach to healing, the actress shared a heartwarming anecdote about her own mother stepping in to care for her, preparing a traditional, nourishing pot of albondigas soup that was both visually beautiful and deeply comforting during those exhausting early weeks. This tender detail highlighted the multi-generational support that surrounded the new family, illustrating how the wisdom and care of older generations can provide a vital anchor for a young mother trying to find her footing in an unfamiliar territory. The actress emphasized to her readers that she was still very much in an early, fragile period after giving birth, a time when it is absolutely essential to be super gentle with oneself and to allow the mind and body the necessary space to heal without rushing back into the demanding expectations of the outside world. This message of self-compassion and patience resonated deeply with her audience, offering a powerful reminder that behind the flawless public images often presented by celebrities, there are real human experiences of vulnerability, physical recovery, and the slow, deliberate process of rebuilding oneself after bringing a new life into the world. By sharing these intimate, unvarnished details of her daily life, from the specific traditional soups she ate to the complex emotions of the postpartum period, she managed to pull back the heavy curtain of celebrity mysticism, allowing her audience to see a genuine, hardworking mother who was deeply committed to honoring the sacred and fragile natures of this new chapter in her family history. The profound realization that your entire heart is now permanently living outside of your own body is an emotional milestone that changes a person forever, rewriting their internal code in a way that no other life event can replicate. As the celebrated actress and her star athlete husband continued to navigate the quiet, sacred sanctuary of their early parenthood journey, they found themselves standing at the intersection of a beautiful, bittersweet paradox that every single parent eventually must face. In the concluding section of her deeply moving personal letter, the Oscar-nominated star chose to fully unveil the beautiful name they had chosen for their precious daughter. Officially introducing Harper Haize Allen to her devoted community of followers and the world at large. The name itself seemed to perfectly carry a sense of modern elegance blended with a timeless, poetic grace, a fitting moniker for a child born to parents who excel so magnificently in their respective global arenas. Reflecting on the rapid, unstoppable passage of time during those first 2 months, the actress recalled the ubiquitous advice that well-meaning friends, family members, and complete strangers always give to new parents, which is the simple, urgent warning not to blink. For the first time in her life, she explained that she finally, truly understood the profound weight behind those words, because she already found herself deeply missing earlier versions of her daughter that felt like they had existed just yesterday. She spoke with a tender wistfulness about missing the way her tiny baby would make sure they had multiple intimate visits throughout the long, dark hours of the night, and how they both looked back with a smile at the impossibly small newborn diapers that they had initially sworn looked absolutely enormous before her arrival. This unique emotional duality, a complex feeling of being simultaneously filled with immense excitement for the future while feeling deeply wistful for the vanishing past, was something the actress admitted she had never truly comprehended before stepping into the magical realm of motherhood. She wrote beautifully about wanting her daughter's exquisite soft baby hair to remain exactly this soft forever, while simultaneously longing for the distant, beautiful day when her daughter might ask her to braid that same hair down her back while they sat together in the green grass on a sunny afternoon. She confessed that she could easily tear up at the simple, poignant thought of those tiny baby toes getting bigger. Yet she found immense comfort and pride in knowing that someday her daughter's big girl feet would confidently carry her through this vast, unpredictable world. This raw vulnerability showcased a mother who was not merely going through the motions of childcare, but who was actively, consciously absorbing every single micro-moment of her child's development, fully aware of how fleeting and precious this early season of life truly is. The ultimate revelation of her message, however, centered on a profound philosophical shift regarding the true meaning of parenthood itself, a realization that completely upended her previous assumptions about what it meant to raise a child. Before giving birth, she had always naturally assumed that motherhood was primarily about guiding, teaching, and raising a child through the various stages of development. But her experience with little Harper had completely shattered that perspective. Instead, she came to understand that being a mother is actually about allowing yourself to become someone entirely new over and over again, embarking on a continuous, transformative journey of self-discovery that reshapes your character on a daily basis. She beautifully described how, each and every single day with her daughter, she met a completely different version of herself, discovering a softer version, a much stronger version, and a far more patient and present version than she ever knew existed. It was a version of herself that loved everything and everyone, most notably including her own self, with a profound, unconditional depth that she had previously thought was completely impossible to achieve. This ultimate transformation highlights the beautiful, symbiotic relationship between a mother and her newborn child, illustrating that while the parents are carefully protecting and nurturing the infant is quietly performing an even greater work of spiritual and emotional refinement upon the hearts of the parents. She concluded her beautiful newsletter by emphasizing that motherhood is ultimately not constructed from grand, sweeping cinematic moments, but rather from the tiny, precious, and often unheralded fragments of daily existence. It is found in the rhythmic, exhausting sway of tired hips in the middle of a dark room at 3 o'clock in the morning, in the pure magic of a baby's little milk-drunk smiles, and in that quiet, recurring realization that your life is no longer entirely your own. In sharing this deeply personal evolution, the actress has provided a beautiful, inspiring template for modern parents everywhere, demonstrating how to welcome the immense disruptions of a newborn with grace, humility, and an open heart. Her journey with her husband and their beautiful daughter, Harper Haize Allen, reminds us all that no matter how bright the spotlights of fame may shine, the truest, most enduring victories in this life are always found in the quietest, most sacred corners of our homes. The story of this Hollywood icon and her powerhouse quarterback husband transitioning into a devoted family of 3 is a beautiful testament to the power of love to ground us, to change us, and to push us toward becoming the absolute best versions of ourselves for the sake of the next generation. As they continue to watch their sweet girl grow, their global audience stands in absolute admiration of their commitment to family, eagerly waiting to see how this beautiful new chapter will continue to inspire their lives, their art, and their shared future.